After 5th grade, my family actually moved to Middletown, Connecticut. The intensity of the negative aspects of middle school was just getting worse. Going through that was actually one of the best things that's ever happened to me. There was like a switch went off in my head. Am I supposed to change? Hey guys, it's Gabriel. Welcome back to my channel. This is the third part of my coming out series. Today we're going to be talking all about my experiences in high school. I was definitely worried about high school and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just gonna be that much more, intense. I'm gonna be a freshman. There's gonna be hundreds of people that are older than me and they're just gonna beat me up and stuff. It definitely doesn't help that some of my favorite movies are like 90s high school movies. There was always people getting bullied in these movies, so that was just my perception of what high school was. It's really great to be able to say that that's not at all what my experience was like. I just kind of felt like nobody cared to like pick on me or say something about me or be like, what is he up to? So I kind of felt this freedom to go about my life. Realistically, high school was a time for me to make of it whatever I wanted to. Unfortunately, at the time, I didn't do everything that I could have, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but I didn't even say what high school I went to. So some of you may have heard of it. I don't know like if it's still considered viral now or not, but there was a viral video fairly recently. It was about a deputy who danced to Beyonce at a pep rally and everyone just like went crazy. So the name of that school is North Stafford High School. Yay, go Wolverines. For 1 year I was there with my brother, and for 3 years I was there with my cousin. It was just the best thing, especially during gym time. Oh, can't stand gym. It was like the worst thing ever. I didn't like changing. I didn't like exercising. Thankfully, like my friends, they like to be active, but they were also okay with just walking in circles around the track and just talking. I'm like, this is so my thing. Let's do this every day and forever. When I was a junior, my sister came into the school. She had her friends, I had my friends. We'd interact during lunchtime if one of us didn't have enough money for lunch or something like that. One interesting story that happened during high school was the fact that I had a wife. We didn't officially get married, but there was a girl that I met our sophomore year, or was it freshman year? I can't remember, but we met pretty early on. One day in science class, we were just paired up with each other, and for whatever reason, we just like really clicked, even though we were also very different at the same time. When we were writing out the assignment during the science class, we found out our handwritings were slanted opposite of each other. I think mine was slanted to the right and hers was slanted to the left, and it was like we complete each other, We even went to dances together, and again, we didn't dance, we just talked. And yeah, I don't know what it is with me going to dances with girls and just talking, but we were in AP English together during our last year, and we had several talks about, what happens when we go off to college. In my phone, she was still my wife, and in her phone, I was her husband, and it was like, are we gonna have to get a divorce? Like, what's gonna happen? We're gonna have to move on at some point in our lives. We were married for like, what, 3 years, I think? It was a good marriage. We gave each other our space, but at the same time, we had lunch together, we spent time, we hung out. During my college years, I basically came out to her. During the time that we were married, I had no idea that she actually liked me. That never once crossed my mind. But when she told me that, I was like so flattered. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's really sweet and kind, and I feel like I'm not somebody that you would ever like, despite the fact that we were calling each other husband and wife when we were married. But she had this like kind of tough exterior. I learned that she actually has a very soft interior, and people wouldn't learn that about her unless they took the time to get to know her. I think in some ways like she saw that softness in me. In that way we sort of complemented each other. I don't know, she just carried herself like really well and very confidently. That was something that I aspired to. Sticking to that topic of people liking me, for certain people I always kind of felt like they didn't even know that I existed, and my mind was completely blown away when there was a situation when I was in college. I went to Cold Stone with my friend. That's an ice cream store. In the middle of our conversation, this was like kind of late at night, this girl is like calling my name. She's like, oh my gosh, Gabriel? And I turn around and I'm like, what? And I say her name. To be completely honest, I don't think we have ever had a conversation before that day. And the thing is, in my eyes, like she was considered one of the popular girls in my high school class. And I was like, she knows who I am. We're in college, like how does she know my name? Or how does she even remember my name? Why does she remember my name? And the fact that I wasn't even facing in her direction and she wanted to like shout my name and say hi. And it was just like the sweetest thing. And that was like a huge wake up call for me. And it made me instantly have like a whole bunch of regret for how I went about my high school experience, because I went through those 4 years just kind of recovering and not really giving myself the chance to be vulnerable again and to open up my circle and get to know my peers. I think a lot of it was out of fear. Some of it was out of the fact that I just didn't think people would care to get to know me. And when she said my name, I was like, wow, like I was completely wrong about that. High school was definitely a time where I should have done more than what I did. I hate exercising, but I would have liked to join the soccer team. I would have liked to be in the drama club. Middle school, a lot of my friends actually were in drama in high school, but there was a distance that was created. And that was another thing I noticed in high school, is that Mean Girls portrays high school to be super cliquey, and at times it definitely is. I felt like I wasn't really in a clique. I was just kind of like a loner. I was in the loners clique, I guess. But it was so funny because the people that I guess I had the best chance to be friends with were probably the drama people, but they were so close-knit. Like I was literally sitting next to them during lunch almost every day, and you hear the jokes and they're just like so inside jokes, and it's like you can't break in, you know, you can't get in there. But I do know that if I did join drama, like I don't think I would have had a problem. I think it would have been enjoyable. I think I would have become a much more outgoing person. I saw a couple of their plays and they were just so amazing, and I was just like awestruck by how much talent a lot of these people had, and I wasn't bettering myself in that way. I did join other clubs. I was in Literary Magazine, which was fun. It was work, but it was fun. And I also did, this sounds like a resume or an interview. What am I doing? I also joined Anime Club. That was fun too. All of us nerds just banding together. And then I also realized, like, I thought this is gonna sound so bad, but I thought I was like a nerd about anime, but I was like, oh, these people are on a whole different level. I felt like a novice compared to some of them, because they were just like whipping out information, and people were doing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I was like, oh, I don't do Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what I think of, and it's not super sad. I'm not like beating myself up for it, but it definitely does set a tone for how I live my life now. 5 years from now, I don't want to look back in this moment and feel like, oh, like I should have reached out, or I should have done this. I think I definitely do still make mistakes, but I try to be conscious and aware of that, and just, you know, try to push myself. I was doing the video journals, and that's why I started doing YouTube, to just be more outgoing and just be more vocal. You know, I can do it when I'm by myself, when it's just me and the camera. I've been doing this for a long time, but you know, to do it on YouTube and to be more public about it and just try to expose myself more, like, yeah, it can be scary at times, so it's still a learning process and I'm still trying. But the most important thing is that you try. So if you're in high school and you're watching this, hopefully that does encourage you and that gives you motivation to live life to the fullest. If you want to join a club, join it. If you want to talk to somebody, talk to them. The worst that can happen is someone's like, I don't want to be your friend, and it's like, okay, well, if they really say that to you, like, you probably don't want to be their friend in the first place. So during times where I felt like I couldn't open up to my peers or make newer friends, like my teachers were always sort of there for me, and especially in high school, they showed me respect and they treated me like an adult. Thinking back on it, it's like, gosh, I still really was like a kid, you know, going through typical kid stuff, but they made me feel like I was heard. At this point, I wasn't coming out to any of them, but just, you know, just talking about daily life, stuff that I was going through, and even good stories, like sharing accomplishments and stuff, or just casually visiting. Me and my ex-wife, we used to play cards with this one teacher. We just had like the most fun. I will always say this, like, teachers have a very special place in my heart, and for kids that don't really do well with connecting with their peers or making friends, like, teachers are sort of the backbone of helping these kids to get to where they need to be socially, academically, and just in life. Like, I would say my teachers have taught me a lot more than just what's required in the classroom, so I'm really thankful for that. After high school, I was asking some of my teachers, I was like, can we be Facebook friends? And now we like text message each other every once in a while. I don't text too much because I try not to annoy people, but I do still like to email. Actually, emailing is a lot of fun. It feels less intrusive, I guess. I can email a whole novel to people, which is why some people don't want me emailing them. Like, if you're my family, they're like, don't email me. Towards the end of high school, everyone gets very excited and you start to build bonds with your graduating class. And at that time, I was getting invited to like parties and outings and stuff, and I was just like, no, like I'm busy, or no, I have to work, which were all true, but you know, I could have gotten out of it. Even now, like whenever I'm invited to something and it's like a whole bunch of people that I don't know, I still get that like anxiety, but you know, once you do it and you're in it, like it's really not that bad. You gotta give yourself a chance. You have to put yourself out there, otherwise nothing's gonna change. There's always room for improvement, and there's always opportunities to learn more and experience more things and to go on adventures and stuff. Not that a party's an adventure, but you know what I mean. When I think about it now, like I realize how much people actually liked me. If I could go back in time and tell Gabriel, like, you know, stop what you're doing, like people want to get to know you, you should go hang out and see what it's like. And if things things don't work out, they don't work out. And if they do, it's like, hey, you just made like 4 new friends, you know? High school ended. I was on my way to George Mason University. I was very happy to be going to the school because I could commute back and forth between home. So I officially came out in college. That means the next video is going to be my legit coming out story. I just want to say I really appreciate you guys like sticking with me on this journey all the way up until this point. I said this before, but I think that the moments leading up to the actual coming out is also pretty important. I feel like you guys have a better sense of who I am and how I sort of came to be, and I think that's going to help paint a better picture when it comes to actually telling my coming out story. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Definitely be sure to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Zuff678. Be yourself, love yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, bye! Before I even let other people's opinions matter to me, I had to figure out for myself what I was dealing with and what I was going through. There was a moment that I had in the shower. I do a lot of thinking in the shower, actually. I remember like so vividly. I was in the shower, and for the very first time in my entire life, I told myself,